Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We got NFL football, real football to talk about today. We got a big Bucs game coming up. We're going to preview that with Josh Capo of the Pewter Report, break it all down for you, and give you the latest injury news. The Rays win again last night. Holy shizbang, 7 in a row. The hell's going on with the Rays? We'll talk about that. Some college football. We will have Scott Carter on with the Gator Report, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, as we preview a huge game between USF and the University of Florida coming up, maybe the best game of the weekend. Brad Johnson, who we missed yesterday, will join us today to talk a little Buccaneers nostalgia. He was there for the big preview of the documentary on Tuesday night, so we'll relive some of those magical moments and maybe talk a little college football with him as well. Tito's going to join us. Jeff Thitoff will join us for a little fantasy football advice. So if you have any fantasy questions for him, he is the all-knowing, all-seeing fantasy dude. And Orestes Estrada is going to join us at the end of the program to talk a little Rays as well. That's a show. Timmy. And good morning to you, IndyCar Tim, and our Dallas affiliate. We got lots to get to in this jam-packed 2 hours.
Man, that 65-minute weather delay last night, number one, did not help my bar tab. And number two, did not help my sleep schedule either.
Yeah, you're working on about 2 hours sleep, huh?
Oh, it's 3. About a little under 3.
Did you sleep in the office last night?
I did not. I was at the neighborhood bar watching the game. Went home, had to write the post-game. I had to do my post-game pod for the Cowboys Daily Blitz at FanStream Sports Dallas. And by the way, the title of that pod, F.U. CeeDee Lamb.
He had a few drops last night that really cost him.
I don't want anybody to ever tell me CeeDee Lamb is an elite wide receiver in the NFL ever again, because
he catches 2 out of 3, they might win that game.
Yeah, especially that fourth down that hit him right in the hands.
Yikes!
And an elite receiver makes that catch. By the way,
yeah, you got to make that catch.
A scrub does not make that catch. George Pickens, who I hate with a passion, had a better game with 3 catches for 30 yards than CeeDee Lamb did with 130 yards receiving.
It was the weirdest game ever. No defense could stop the other in the first half. There was no punts at all, I don't think.
No.
And then we get the rain delay, and nobody can score. Nobody can just nothing. Shut out in the entire second half. What the F?
Yeah, and by the way, that rain delay helped the Cowboys tremendously, because that was right after the Miles Sanders fumble down at the 20 or the 15. And then they stopped because the Eagles would have marched down the field and with all the momentum after the fumble. And by the way, what a touchdown saving tackle by Dak.
Yeah.
He dives for the defender's legs with nobody.
That fumble was brutal.
It was bad.
Brutal.
But yeah, lots about that game. You know, the Cowboy. I never thought that the Cowboys were out of it, obviously, with the ball under 2 minutes to play, and then Lamb drops the fourth down pass. But hey, you know what? Brian Schottenheimer called a hell of a game in his very first game.
Very aggressive.
The game plan was great. I loved the play calling. I loved everything about it, except CeeDee Lamb forgot how to catch a ball.
Got to execute. In the end, all this strategy don't mean squat if you can't execute and catch the damn ball.
Dak was off. He missed some throws, but it's game one. You expect your quarterback, especially who didn't play in the preseason. He missed that touchdown pass to Ferguson that hit the defender in the back of the helmet on the goal line. If he throws that 2 yards deeper, that's a touchdown.
Yeah,
but you expect that
throw.
It's
a tough throw, but
you expect that from a quarterback.
He had one that he dropped though, too, as well.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and he got smoked. I don't know who was that got smoked in the end zone there for the flag. Is that Ferguson? Oh, over the middle.
Yeah.
That was.
And you know, maybe the worst part about the CeeDee Lamb 3 glaring drops, 2 of those drops were tips where he tipped the ball up in the air for a free-for-all. And I don't know how somebody didn't intercept one of those balls.
How the hell does Jalen Carter start the game by just walking up to Dak Prescott and spitting on him right in front of the referee?
So you didn't see the video that came out after, right?
I saw
you went to bed early.
Well, I saw him walk up to Dak and spit on him.
Right. So, but you didn't see the before that video.
Is there something that happened before that?
Yeah. So they were jawing at each other. So Carter was jawing into the Cowboys huddle at the rookie BB, right? He was trying to get under BB's skin. Dak was in the middle of the huddle and walks up, and that's kind of when you start seeing them walk towards each other. So Dak gets up in between BB. He's kind of blocked by his two linemen, and Carter's walking towards the huddle. And, he's like, dude, why are you trying to get under my guy's skin? What are you doing? And then Dak spits on the ground 3 feet in front of Jalen Carter. Had nothing to do with Jalen Carter. Dak's a known spitter. He does that 1,000 times every game.
Yeah.
It was not aimed at him. It didn't go up in the air. It went. Jalen Carter took offense, came over. Are you trying to spit on me? And that's when Dak kind of broke through the wall of offensive linemen there, and they go toe to toe. And he's like, and Dak's like, dude, I don't spit on people. Why are you getting all worked up? And that's when Carter spit on Dak.
What an idiot. What an idiot.
Typical
what an
Jalen
absolute
Carter,
idiot. And then he
right?
walks off the field with some shit-eating grin on his face. Like, if I was his teammate, these are the type of things that I just don't think would ever happen to the Buccaneers. Because they're more respectful to each other. It's one thing to be, do stupid stuff, but you kill your team like that. When you're Jalen Carter, you kill your team doing stuff like that.
That's why he slid in the draft too, by the way.
And there were 10 Eagles that weren't playing last night that played on the Super Bowl team. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And they're missing some key people. I thought the Eagles were the top team in the NFC. After watching last night, I don't have that opinion anymore. That was, Jalen Hurts was really good. He's really freaking good. I think he's getting better. Quentin Summers asked me, JP, thoughts on Jalen Hurts last night? See more than ever. He was one read and then take off outside of the throw to Dotson and no look to A.J. Brown until the last drive. Weird. I missed most of the second half, to be honest with you, but the first half, I thought he was outstanding. And I don't see the one look and run at all from him. I see him going through his progressions and then finding a lane and going. I'm kind of in the Dan Orlovsky camp on Jalen Hurts and have been for a long time. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in this league. And I don't, you can say he throws the ball. Mm-hmm. He's become a really good passer of the football. That deep ball he threw early on was just tremendous. I think Jalen Hurts is awesome. You won't see me criticizing him. I think he's one of the best in the game. His running ability, throwing ability. He's so calm. I think he's excellent.
Jalen Hurts is the poster boy for look how a dude can develop in the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. He was not that quarterback in college. Not even close.
Nope.
But you take him high enough and you work with him, and dude, he has turned into a top 3 quarterback and as much as it pains me to say that because he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. But no, he has developed into that, and his legs, not his arm last night. He only threw for 152 yards and no throwing touchdowns, but he had the 2 rushing touchdowns. By the way, that is the first time he has scored 2 rushing touchdowns where both of them were not less than 4 yards. Because he always scores on the tush push.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting.
So that's but
all in all, I think as a Bucs fan, I look at the Eagles and I go, they're not that great. And I'm looking forward to seeing them here in a few weeks. And I think they're not obviously, hopefully Jalen Carter gets suspended for 3 games. I would love to see that.
Ooh, yeah, I would like that, wouldn't you?
But it'll probably be just 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
3 would be nice, though. I think 3 is a really nice number. I like that.
But the Cowboys' problem last night was they could not contain the edge on either side. And in the rare event that they did, they couldn't tackle, whether it was Barkley or Hurts. Mm-hmm. Hurts had 62 yards rushing. By the way, you remember my wacky, bold claim about Saquon Barkley yesterday?
60 yards.
60 yards rushing.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened at the end of that game because they couldn't stop them in the beginning of the game. So I just thought the Eagles were just going to blow them out, but they did not. All right, so let's move on to the Rays. We got a packed schedule, so I got to get ripping on this. They win last night 4-2. They're 7th in a row now, 2 games out of the wild card behind the Mariners. Are you freaking kidding me? This is unbelievable. And last night it wasn't Caminero knocking the ball over the yard. It was Christopher Morel. My God, Christopher Morel with a big 2-out hit. gets them on a run. Carson Williams is bunting guys in. Mangum's knocking guys in with the little blooper. So it was a lot of small ball last night. Pepio goes 5 no-hit innings against the Guardians team that's not very good offensively. But they did what they had to do to win. Now, Fairbanks comes on and gives up 2 solo shots in the 9th. I'm like, what are you doing? But they win 4-2. They're playing great baseball right now. And I think that's a big one to get against Cleveland. Now, go get at least 2 more in this series, if not sweep. And Lord knows. Listen, I have issues with the bullpen. Fairbanks scares me. Griffin Jacks hasn't been what we thought he should have been. So the back end of their bullpen is not good. But look at this. They're 2 games behind. They got the Royals and the Rangers to go over and catch the Mariners. The Mariners are just in a free fall.
Man, they're just
they
lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, and 4. They're 4-6 their last 10.
Yeah,
got swept by the Rays. So hey, and I know what's going on with your Rangers. They're 3 games over 5. I don't know how if they're playing good ball. They've lost 2 in a row now.
Dude, they're getting all the breaks the Rays are right now. I'm telling you, they are identical teams this year.
Yeah, I mean, if not for the Rays, just huge swoon, but then I say, has the starting pitching been consistent enough to win 15, 16, 17 games down the stretch? Right. No. Is the bullpen to a point where you really believe in them? No. The offense, has still been inconsistent. So I'm not trying to piss on the parade here, but it's an awesome 7-game win streak. But if gun to my head, are they going to make the playoffs? I'm going to say probably not. Yep. But
they're making it interesting, right? They're keeping
they can bury the Guardians
late in the game.
Yeah, I don't know the Royals. I don't know much about how they've been playing lately. The Rangers, as you said, I think they're a pretty good team. Probably better than the Rays.
And they're doing this without 3 of their starting pitchers they started the season with that are all hurt.
Yeah. So, and the Mariners, I don't know. Maybe they fall out of it. But we'll see. It's meaningful games in September, which is always Stu's moniker that he wants to see. So let's go. Let's go Rays. Good stuff.
It's when the money comes.
All right. Vita Vea on the injury report. And I told you this earlier. I saw Vita on Wednesday. We were walking through the facility as the media we walked past the dining hall going over to the locker room to talk to the players. And Vita's coming at us, and Jenna Lane has a little walker because she's got a bad back.
Yeah.
So, and he points to her walker and says, "Oh, I might need that." And we all laugh. Ha ha ha.
Little did you know.
And I'm like, wait. And then I said to Vita, I hope you don't need that. I hope you don't need that. He goes, I'll be good. I hope so. I was on Atlanta radio this morning. They asked me, about this Bucs defense. And I said, here's the deal, guys. Vita Vea hasn't practiced this week. He's got a foot injury. If he doesn't play, that's a huge, huge change. I think it's actually changed the line by a point. Yeah. If Vita Vea doesn't play, the Falcons will be able to run. I think be able to run at will with Bijan Robinson. Now, don't forget, they lost their center, Dahlman. And they, to free agency. So they're replacing him, and he was a huge part of what they do. And now you got a 3rd string right tackle. So if the Falcons, I'm going to run the ball. I'm going to run the ball right at the Bucs if there's no Vita Vea. And that could be a huge, huge game changer with Bijan and Algiers. That's a huge win for the Falcons if that's what happens. So I think we got to watch that. We'll see if he practices today. We might get a little bit information on that during the show.
Yeah.
But that to me is very, very pivotal in this game. Otherwise, I think if Vita can play, I think the Bucs win. If they don't, if he can't, then I think it's a bit of a toss-up. It's a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, Cade Otton, full participant yesterday.
Yeah.
He was limited Wednesday, full participant yesterday. Izzian,
I don't think
without still. Benjamin Morrison was limited for the second day in a row. I don't think he's playing either with that quad. Yeah.
Yep.
But Reddick's dealing. I guess he's dealing with some personal stuff this week.
Yeah.
He was on the injury report, but he was
he's back,
full participant yesterday.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Yep.
So Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really fun game. Really fun game to watch. All right, I caught up with Josh Capo from the Pewter Report a little bit earlier in the week, and we broke down all the different segments of this game. So let's check in with Josh Capo right now as we preview Bucs Falcons. All right, let's welcome in Josh Capo from the Pewter Report. We're going to do this each and every week as we preview the Buccaneers opponent. What's up, Josh? How are you?
I'm doing well, JP. We've got real NFL football tonight. So I am fantastic.
We got a whole slate of it this week, too. All right, let's talk Bucs Falcons, and really an enormous game in week one for so many reasons. The storylines are off the charts because the Buccaneers really believe that they're an elite team. They're a Super Bowl team, and to do that, they got to beat the Falcons, and they got to do it on the road to become an elite team. The Falcons believe it's their time in the NFC South, that they've done enough on the defensive end to be able to win this division now. They beat the Bucs last year twice, but now they want to win the division. So a lot at stake, packed house from a storyline standpoint. How do you see this game?
Well, I think the Falcons' young pass rushers going up against the Bucs bookends, who are now both officially paid, with Gedeke getting his extension. I think that's a really big storyline there. Can James Pierce and Jalen Walker create any type of pressure for Baker Mayfield? I think an underrated one is the Falcons center situation. They lost Drew Dahlman in the offseason. He went to Chicago. Can the Falcons offensive line hold up against Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey? I could see the two of them plus Hassan Reddick, because the Falcons are on their fourth offensive tackle who's going to be playing right tackle for them. Caleb McGarry's out for the season, and Storm Norton, who would have been their swing tackle, he's going to be out for probably half the season. So you've got the Bucs defensive line. There is no reason why they should not have a fantastic game. And if they don't, I think that's worrisome. So, and then the last one that I'm looking at, just kind of like really pulling through the vines there. The Falcons love to put Drake London in the slot, and they really unlocked him last year in doing that. Him versus Jacob Parrish. Parrish is, under 6 foot. London is 6'3", 6'4". Todd Bowles mentioned that if Christian Izien couldn't go, that Zion McCollum would kind of be a backup slot option for them. I almost wonder how often could we see Zion in the slot matched up against Drake London, because the size matchup there is obviously much more even. Yeah. Zion's been taking some reps in the slot. He's had experience there in the past, and I would almost love to see that one-on-one, no matter where London goes, almost have Zion as a follow.
Well, and that's the point. We've heard inklings of this, that these corners now are going to travel. They're going to go look at where the matchup is, because I think the Bucs got out of sorts last year, and it's a weakness in their defense. When you line up one corner on the same side every single time, the offense can dictate those matchups. So now the Bucs can dictate the matchup that they want, and it doesn't matter where Drake lines up. If he moves, he goes in motion. It also tells us that the Bucs are probably going to play a lot more man than zone, and that's a good thing, I think, for the most part. If these guys can play man, I mean, it's the one thing we know is and I asked Bowles this yesterday, that are you excited to see this new defense, this tweaked defense? He keeps calling it tweaked. I think it's going to be a little bit more than tweaked, but he wants to call it tweaked. That's fine. Whatever. It's going to be different. And I think you're right on. I think that's a huge storyline, not in the micro with Zion, but in the macro of how they play defense, especially in the secondary.
Yeah, and I mean, and that carries so much if you look at like the Falcons starting 11 personnel. Darnell Mooney, Jacob Parrish would be a great matchup for Mooney in terms of size and how they move. And then you could take somebody like Jamel Dean and put him on Kyle Pitts. That would be a really interesting matchup, and I think one that Dean could have a lot of success with. So being able to move those pieces and feel comfortable with those guys each playing and understanding their assignments and feeling good and confident no matter where they're lined up on the field, I think that could bode well for this defense, who I am unreasonably high on. Yeah.
You are unreasonably high on this Bucs defense?
I am. I think that they are going to be a top 10 defense this year. I am unreasonably high.
Yeah, and that's not a popular opinion. There are certainly clues that this could happen. I'm going to be a little bit – I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I think they definitely have the ability to do it. I think Hassan Reddick is a total game changer, and the secondary and just tweaking the defense is a game changer. I just got to see it, and I got to see Bulls commit to it. You know, I just have this feeling that if something goes wrong, he's going to go back into his more comfort zone, and we might see the old defense come out. So I don't know. I mean, well, again, it's week 1. We got to wait and see, and that's the beauty of it. So you mentioned Gedeke, by the way, and we got to mention that his extension completely expected, but the metamorphosis of this guy is truly remarkable. I mean, you think about it. You know, he was a 0-star recruit, went to Directional Central Michigan as a tight end, and then they moved him to tackle. You know, and he was all of 220 pounds, you know, when he got on campus. Now he's a legitimate 25-pound right tackle that moves really well, is strong as a freaking ox, has really strong hands, has become a great technician, and one of the top tackles in the game, and he just got paid $22.5 million a year. It's a great story. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
Absolutely. And I love what you say there about him being a technician. This offseason, you hear every year in the draft cycle, all of these offensive tackles in college, and they have to move inside. And one of the big reasons is everybody talks about arm length. This has been the offseason for short arm kings. Rashawn Slater, there was some talk about him when he was coming out because of arm length. Should he go inside? Zach Tom of the Packers, Bernard Ryman of the Colts, and Luke Gedeke, who actually did start out on the inside, and that was such a tough season for him. and people got so down on him. All 4 of those guys get paid this offseason, all 4 of them with arm lengths that people thought, well, they can't play tackle. And they're showing that if you have the right technical expertise, and if you know how to use or how to negate length, you can still be a top tackle in the NFL. And all 4 of them have done a great job of showing it. So very excited. It was a very fair extension for both sides. Good for Luke to not have to go to the 5th year, which the Bucs did demand of Tristan Wirfs to make him the highest paid tackle in the league at the time. And then $50 million guaranteed, which is basically 2 years worth of salary that they'll be able to spread over 2025 and 2026. His cap hit, I haven't seen the details, but his cap hit this year should come in around $5 or $6 million. And they'll be able to spread his prorated bonus over the 5 years. So the structure will be really nice, and the Bucs are still in good shape. Even though they have a lot of players next year who are going to need to be paid, they're in good shape from a cash and cap standpoint to be able to keep almost everybody.
And Baker Mayfield with an absolute verbal assault on Luke Gedeke yesterday, calling him the cheapest man he knows. And then it was funny. He's like, this guy. He goes, I think somebody loaned him money to get the windows tinted as a rookie, and he still hasn't paid him back. So we go in to the locker room, and Gedeke comes up and he goes, well, I would say frugal. I think cheap's a little strong. He said, I would admit to be frugal. And I said, well, there's been an allegation that you borrowed money to get your windows tinted and never paid it back. And he's like, wait, what? Well, there's probably a lot of interest on that. Did I really borrow money for that? It was so funny. And then somebody goes, well, what's your lavish purchase going to be? He goes, nothing. He goes, but I've been talking about Teddy Bridgewater about buying his 2018 minivan. I'm like, we're like, what? And he's like, yeah. Hey, Teddy, what year is that minivan? He's like, 2018. He's like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
So number one, that's such a Midwestern way approach and everything.
Yeah,
it's perfect for him. And then also, like, if he's wanting a minivan, is Luke Gedeke telling everybody that him and his, I think, fiance, I don't know if they've gotten married yet.
Of course, Jenna was going to ask that. Of course, Jenna was going to ask. You don't have kids, and he's like, don't need kids for a minivan. That's a misnomer. Anyway, love this guy. He's one of a kind. I love talking to him. He's got a little Gronk in him, you know?
Yeah.
He's got a little Gronk in him, and just very playful and a big oaf. Love that guy. All right, and listen, he's got a challenge this week, and these two rush ends, James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker, both highly touted, rookies. we don't know what they are. I've heard great stuff from my guys in Atlanta about James Pierce Jr. He's just wrecking things, but that might be more about the Falcons offensive line. But they expect big things out of these cats. And, of course, Charlie Heck starts for Tristan Wirfs. I think that's where the game is going to be won and lost, on the tackles and the rush ends. I think that's probably the biggest sub-story here. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. How much help can the Bucs give Heck, and how well is he going to be able to hold up against those two guys? You got to think that Raheem Morris they just got the old defensive coordinator for the Jets.
Ehrlich.
I can't remember.
Ehrlich?
Jeff Ehrlich. Yep.
Yeah.
Ehrlich, that they're going to try and test Heck, that they are going, and Walker may be the piece that they use for that, because you can move Walker all around. He's got the off-ball skills, and they're going to use him kind of like a defensive joker. So Heck's going to have to keep his head on a swivel. He's going to have to look for games. I'm sure that they're going to test the communication between him and Bredesen, and I expect that the Bucs will attach a tight end to that side of the line at least 2/3 of the time. So, and you could expect probably a lot of quick game and screens from the Bucs, at least to get established and feeling good, and put themselves in positions to then take some play action shots. If they can use the quick game and the screens to get into 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, then that's when you can go deep with extra guys in, run 2-man combos, but off of play action to get beyond those linebackers. So that's what I expect that the Bucs will be able to do, and hopefully it works to their advantage.
How do you factor in Josh Grizzard making his first start as a play caller offensively for the Bucs?
I think don't overthink it. I enjoyed what he did in the preseason. Obviously, it was very vanilla, but it seemed like he had a really good understanding of the rhythm. It didn't seem like the situation was too big for him. So for me, it's kind of a minor storyline because I just think he's going to be able to flow into it. Is he going to be as good as Liam Cohen? That's such a high bar, and I don't think that should be the bar that we're looking for week one. But I don't think that his ability to call plays is going to prevent the team from winning week one.
Well, I would agree with that. All right. Any other thoughts on this weekend's matchup that's kind of hitting your radar?
I'm excited for special teams. I think that this can be a very one of the most prolific special teams years for the Bucs in 20, 25, 30 years, maybe ever, because they've always seemed to struggle, and especially over the last 7 or 8 years. But Riley Dixon had a fantastic spring training camp and preseason. McLaughlin has been money since he's gotten here, and I really like what these kick returners can provide with Josh Williams and Johnson. Well, Tez is being listed as the backup, but they've got Cam Johnson as the primary punt returner, and he'll be doing the kickoff duties with Josh Williams. And I think that can be something that really flips the game, literally flips the game. So I'm really excited to see that facet of the game.
All right, it's here, week one, Bucs and Falcons. I got the Bucs winning this one by 7. I'm gonna go 28-21 Buccaneers. What do you got?
I'm going to be pretty close to you. I think 27-20. So same point differential, just 1 point less.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you're right. Enjoy your trip. Well, you're not going anywhere. You're in Atlanta. Stay safe on the MARTA. Can I say that?
Sure.
All right. Stay safe on the MARTA. I had a rough trip last time there. It was a little scary, but as long as it's in the, you'll be fine. 5, 6 o'clock getting home, you'll be fine.
I drive in, so I'm fine.
All right. Even better. Have a good one, Josh. We'll talk to you next week.
You too, JP. See you.
All right, our thanks to Josh Capo right there as we break down Bucs and Falcons. Nathan Elliott says 31-17 Bucs win. I don't think I'm giving up 14 in this one, Nathan. But, again, it's Vita Vea. Vita Vea is kind of the linchpin for me in this one. We shall see. But I cannot wait for 1 o'clock on Sunday to see what this team has.
Here's my prediction, JP.
There's a lot of unknown. What's that?
Here's my prediction.
All right.
If Baker Mayfield plays quarterback, Bucs win 24-9.
Well, why would he not play quarterback?
I'm putting that qualifier there. They might throw him in on the offensive line and let Bridgewater.
So you love the Bucs 24-9. Wow.
24-9.
Wow. I don't see that. I do not see that. But
Michael Penix will look like a rookie, the rookie that he still is.
All right, we shall see. Kenneth McCleary says, since I'm late, I don't know if I missed Brad Johnson or not, but thank him for support for the Super Bowl victory on my birthday, January 26th. You have not missed him. He's coming up next. So quick break, and what a great story about his son, Max. We're going to get into that.
Yeah.
And what a great night. The other night, I wondered, did he talk with Doug and Brady? Because he was on stage there with Brady. So many questions for Brad Johnson, one of my favorite humans in the world. So
why
quick break.
First question involved Papa Shot.
Maybe you can throw that in there for sure. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Get your free case evaluation. Go to the website. Tell them JP sent you. Great attorneys over there. If you get in an accident, it's your first call. And by OnSiteConstructionFL.com. They are your contractor here locally. If a hurricane hits, make sure you know who your contractor is and get on their preferred client list at OnSiteConstructionFL.com. Back in 3 with the great big bad Brad Johnson. I see him he's here and warming up. All right, back in 3. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Football Friday. So glad we can say that. Brought to you by the great folks at Riveters. No place better to watch the game tonight with the Chiefs. Who the hell are they playing? Forgot. Anyway, the Chiefs are playing
Chargers, maybe?
Chargers, that's right. Chiefs and Chargers tonight. You can watch it at Riveters. It's on YouTube. So if you don't have that, you want to go. I know it's free. But
you don't have that. We can't help you.
Go to Riveters.
YouTube.
And you can watch it there, but you don't have wings at home like they have at Riveters. You don't have that buffalo chicken dip like they have at. You don't have that hazy IPA they make there at Riveters. You don't have any of that, and the great staff. You don't have those lovely ladies running around at your house. So go to Riveters.
I might get drunk here in Dallas just believing I'm at Riveters.
There, that'll. Well, they have a webcam. I think we could set that up for you.
That's all we need.
All right, let's talk to the man, the myth, the bull, the great Super Bowl champion. Brad Johnson joining us here. What's up, big bad Brad? How are you?
Doing great, JP, my friend. How you doing, brother?
Awesome. You ready for your Papa shot? Tim's he wants to ask you about the Papa shot. I stole his thunder. He
Papa shot, the trick shots on social media and all this other stuff. And, of course, your time with the Cowboys and the Bucs. That's all we want to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Papa shot, listen, I started Papa shot like back in 30 years ago. You go to bowling alleys and bars and arcades and all those kind of things, just a passion of mine. And then this past year they did a contest, and it was actually on the Ocho down at the Wide World Sports down there at Disney. I got my car. I had to go qualify, so I drove all the way up to St. Louis in the middle of it. I left my house at 2 a.m, went up to St. Louis, qualified. There was about 250 people there, and qualified. And then we actually did the contest April 9th there at Disney, and I didn't win it, but I mean, it's been a passion. I've been training, like I shoot 1,500 to 2,000 shots a day. So that's a lot of shots. That the game is like 55 seconds long, but you're trying to get off about 70 shots. So it's highly competitive. So I'm going to try it again next year and go for it. But it's been fun to compete.
The Palace Saloon, if I'm not mistaken, was your home court back in the day, right?
Yeah, I was probably the first, and Doc's and Ken's and Bullwinkles and all of them. You know?
Yeah, the Doc's had one too. Yes, where I worked. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so I made you cry twice in your life. I'm going to do it a third time today. What? First was when I beat you at racquetball. Come on. Back in the day. Second was the other night at the premiere when you got choked up about the Super Bowl, which was awesome. Yeah. And now I'm going to ask you about your son, Max, and what happened the other night. And God, I get choked up. Yeah. We go back to the opener last year, and I remember texting with you when he got that horrific leg injury, and you were with him at the hospital overnight, and there was talk of amputation.
Yeah.
And then to watch him the other night come onto that field and then throw a touchdown to your other son.
Yeah, it's
pretty wild. You don't start crying right now. I'm ending this interview. I mean, I'm crying. Yeah, I'm crying.
We were emotional during the game, and we definitely cried during the game. Like, and the problem with me crying, like, there's actually a camera, like, it's 40 feet away from me, like, beaming in on me. I'm like, good gosh, like, I'm trying to have a moment here on national TV. But the people don't know. Max, he last year he broke his femur in the first game against Minnesota, and we spent 12 days in a hospital up in Minnesota. He had 5-6 surgeries in a 5-day span, and it was he didn't take a shower for 11 days. We had to rent an apartment up here in Chapel Hill. We had to put on a shoe, help him bathe, drive him everywhere, make his food. And a lot of people counting him out. You know what I mean? There's not – you hear about ACL tears, you hear about broken bones, but you don't ever hear about femurs. Yeah. And they put a rod in there, and it's actually – he's 100%. He's pure healthy now. but it took 11 months to recover. And a lot of people counted him out. And it's incredible for him just to be walking, not alone playing at this level. And he has a passion to play at the NFL. He has that kind of talent, just if they give him a chance. But Jake, our other son, he's a tight end. And they actually caught a touchdown pass to get a few of them together at Texas A&M. And then the other night they caught one here in Chapel Hill. It's just those guys, they're best friends, they're roommates. Man, it's just incredible. We're a very, very tight family. Yeah. And something like that, it'll make you grow in your faith. It'll make you grow in your family. It'll make you just realize how lucky it is, just your health. And to have anybody to have a kid, you want them to be, someone always has it worse. That's what we always say. So we're grateful, for the experiences. But this past year made Max grow up in a lot of different ways. And you find out who you are off the field, and when you're not a football player, it kind of makes you grow up in a different way.
Yeah, Brad, I went to A&M, and of course I'm a huge fan, and I loved it when Max signed and when Jake came over, and I loved watching those boys with the Aggies there at Kyle Field, and of course I followed them over to UNC because of your relationship with them. I was a big fan of you in your career, and so happy things have worked out for Max and for Jake and for the family. It's an amazing story.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's awesome. We're just grateful to be parents. I still feel like they still fight like it's like Tom and Jerry, man. I'm like, hey, I can't beat them up anymore. I can't put them in timeout. I can't even take away their phone. Like, I got no control. They wrap me up in a headlock. I'm like, God. Okay, you win. So
now he said, I saw in the Charlotte paper that Max said he didn't even know it was Jake, and I went back and looked at the tape. And he stared him down the whole damn time. He was going, like, what you talking about? You were going to Jake. Absolutely.
JP, it's really crazy with Max, okay? So, honestly, he had a game at LSU, okay? And he threw Butte. Butte caught 15 catches. Yeah. Max had no clue he had 15 catches. He's really just read the defense, read the coverage, and throw to the open man. That's really the way he plays. It's really unique. Like, who's ever in the huddle is in the huddle. You run your route, you do your thing, and
the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, it's really.
His daddy taught him that.
Art.
Yeah,
so, but when they did, he realized that they celebrate like no other now.
That was nice.
They're hugging and high fiving and butting heads and all that. So it's pretty cool.
That's the best story out of that game by far. Everybody else wants to talk about the other stuff around UNC, but that's the best story by far. And is Max going to start this week? I know Gio got hurt.
No. Max isn't starting. It's that's a different episode.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
But Max is ready to go. So hopefully they give him,
he'll get a shot. He'll get his shot.
It depends on who's NIL. You know what I mean? So.
Nice. Is that how it works now? Is that how it works? Well, listen, there couldn't be a better example than you because you weren't a full-time starter at FSU. And look at and you played, 17 years in the NFL?
Yeah. It's about opportunity and then being ready when your opportunity comes. And so you got to do the lonely work and, be grateful for the times that come when you get that chance. And so Max has been blessed. He's been fortunate enough to be successful whenever he's played. And he's grateful that, really just to come back from that injury. But, you're not out there for your health either. And hopefully they can get the things turned around for the team and those kind of things. But no, everybody that plays has some kind of story. And you look back when it's over, like, how did I ever get through that? And it becomes your story, it becomes your journey. And then, you get to write books on it one day. And, but at the time, all you can do is put your head down and just grind and go and just go through the ring of fire to make you who you are.
Well, great segue to this amazing night that we had the other night. I've been to a lot of events. That to me there was something special in the air that night, bro. Didn't you feel that?
JP, I knew it was a 50-year celebration. I didn't really know what was taking place when I came down, and I think there's 1,200 people there in the Tampa theater, slam packed. Everybody had all their Halloween costumes, Buccaneer outfits from out of the closet. And it was awesome. Like, it was awesome. They did the red carpet where I saw you. And then, we had a backstage, and I spent probably 3 or 4 hours that night with Gruden. And then for me, I'd never really been around Mike Evans, and I hadn't really been around Tom Brady, to be honest with you. And
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I got to spend about 10 minutes with him backstage right after I got done with my part. And, it's just he's the best one to ever have done it.
What'd you guys talk about? What'd you ask him? I gotta know.
We're just talking ball. Honestly, just talking ball.
Probably broke down a lot of defenses, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
And I was like a schoolboy too. I had to get my picture with him taken too. But it was
right.
It was pretty cool because even with Doug Williams, like I grew up like watching Doug, and all the stuff he did in Tampa. But I was a big Redskin fan as growing up as a kid, and so and I've met Doug. I've been around Doug Williams a bunch. So, but all of us to be together and to.
What'd you learn from Brady? What'd you learn from him? What do you take away?
He's a very. What I think what's really cool is you look back. It's hearing everybody else talk about him, and he's a giving person. The game, he loves the game, but he knows that he can only be at his best when he gets the best out of others, and to make from the linemen to the receivers to the scout team guys to the trainers, the equipment guys, you got to get the best out of others for you to succeed. It's not a one man show at any level, especially football is the ultimate game, and that's I think that's his greatness. Obviously he played 23 years and really had I think he had one injury that knocked him out for the season. So incredible passion. And I think, obviously playing all those years in New England, like playing through the cold and wet, and I mean some
snow.
And to be that dominant over all this, for that long a period of time, and then obviously to come to Tampa and bring another Super Bowl there is just a great testament to who he is and hard work, and then his ability to get the greatness out of others.
Interesting stuff. Brad Johnson joining us here. You said you've been around Doug a lot. I just seen the three of you on I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. You and Brady and Doug. I mean, it's especially in terms of history and the Buccaneers. And we don't really think of the Buccaneers as having this great history, but they do, and they are, and they have, and it was on display the other night, and that's a lot of NFL history right there.
Yeah, you got to thank the Glazier family for actually doing this, and Trent Cooper's the film person that's done this, and big documentaries coming out, 10 episodes, and they probably could do 35. Yeah. They interviewed 100 guys to make this happen. They've done it over the last 14 months, and it'll come out this fall. But yeah, I mean, and you don't really get to have nights like last night unless you win a Super Bowls. It gives you another even a feather in your cap twice there, and it's just hard to win. But there is so much greatness, and they talk about in the documentary. They talked about that night, the Yucks to the Bucs to the Super Bowls, and they just it's a great time for it was a 3-hour show the other night. I mean, to hear all the stories that took place.
Flew by.
Yeah, it flew by. Like and just the stories. And
I wanted more.
Yeah, I did more. Too.
You and Gruden are like gold. I mean, you two. I could watch you two talk football forever. Yeah. I mean, he's still just like from an energy standpoint, maniacal. Like everything he does. Like, do you ever say, "Can you calm down, Don, for God's sakes"?
Yeah, Gruden. He has this like nervous twitch. Like you'll see him do this with his like this, and then he's got this thing he does with his leg. He's always kicking his leg. I'm sitting right beside him. I'm like, "Good God, we're playing a game tonight, man." And so, I mean,
he loves a tranquilizer.
Ball. Oh yeah, he loves it. But he's been a great ambassador to the game of football while he's been out of football. Whether you call the Monday night games or whether he's doing all the stuff on the Barstool stuff, it's fun, it's entertaining. But like even when he does those QB shows, like he wants to teach those kids and like this is what's coming. Like he'll spend 3 or 4 days of film on one kid that comes through there. Like he wants to, and he's probably I think he's had like 65, 60. I can't remember the amount of quarterbacks that have come through, but you're talking about a lot of Super Bowl champions, a lot of guys, Pro Bowlers, and just great careers that have come through that office of his. But he loves being in Tampa, and the other night was just a great time for us to be together and for him to share stories. Also, it's pretty cool.
You think he can coach in college? I mean, you're living Belichick up there. I don't think he's a good fit. I think John would be so much more relatable to the young players. And, I know he didn't tolerate young players when he coached you, or he didn't even want to talk to Chris Sims half the time. But what do you think he could do college with all the shit that goes on now in college?
I know he wants to be back in the game. I mean, it's a shame he's not back in the game. Like he loves people. He loves the game. He wants to get the greatness out of each individual. And I tell people, for our Super Bowl team and those teams, like, he really made us better than who we actually were. Like, he got the most out of our defense. He got the most out of us individually. And so hopefully he can get back on the sidelines and coach. He deserves that opportunity. So it's hopefully he's at the pro level. I think that's, that would be the game for him. I'm sure Belichick wanted to get back in the pro game too, but sometimes you got to take a detour sometimes. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know this offseason here, I live in Dallas, Brad, and I was kind of crossing my fingers. I was very vocal on this show about crossing my fingers for Gruden to come to Dallas. I didn't think it would happen, but, man, I thought that had been a great fit with his personality and Jerry and the personalities on this team. I thought it had been a great fit. But
Gruden's a rock star. He could handle that. That's a different job. That's a different place for a quarterback than any other organization, to be honest with you. It's a different deal in Dallas. It's hard to explain the national attention that takes place there, and John could handle it. But it's but they figured they got their guy in Brian Schottenheimer, and hopefully Gruden will get a chance somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good marriage, but maybe Jerry. I always thought that Jerry just didn't like there's a star. There's a star in Dallas, and he's it.
He's going to get the first interview after the games, so in the locker room,
which is still insane to me.
Yeah,
I can't imagine Joel Glazer coming out and all right, I want to talk about the game.
Nah, Joel.
And that's no cut on Joel. I'm glad they're that way. They know they're the owners. They know where their space is.
Yeah, they got a good thing going right there.
Yeah. What do you think of you've known the Glazers for a long time. Obviously, you work for them. There was a time they weren't the most popular owners here, but man, they have done such an incredible job in the community. And I would think as a player, I would love to work for the Glazers because they are they stay behind the scenes. Now they'll put their input in. I know that, but they don't do it publicly. And I think as a player, I would really appreciate that. And they provide everything you need, right, in terms of facilities and everything. They certainly did for Bruce Arians and that group. I mean, crazy. But how are they as owners, as a player?
Yeah, I love playing for them. They stay out of your way, but they're always there to support whenever they need to be. And they let the coaches coach, and they stay out of it. From the media part of it, whether good or bad, they take the back seat to that, and they're aware of everything that takes place, obviously. But they love being a Buccaneer and everything that they've done for Tampa outside the football stadium and what takes place, and just all the charity work that takes place, and all the things they're trying to accomplish there in Tampa. So it's and they've done a great job. Honestly, them and Brian Ford, the chief operating officer, just done a great job as far as, especially with the older players coming back and kind of making it, feel like you're part of the family again. Because once you're out, you're out. You know what I mean? But they've really welcomed us all back, and especially this year with the 50th year anniversary, it's incredible. All the stuff that's taking place, and then I think there's a big event. For the first game against the Jets, we'll come back. My wife Nikki and I will be back for that game. Then we'll be back down there for the Ring of Honor. That's been awesome that they kind of started that tradition with the Glazer family, getting starting to build that the real tradition to build it back up. And then the success that Tampa's had, especially last 5 years, like winning the Super Bowl, winning the division. Like I think we're on a 5 or 6 year run maybe to make the playoffs, and 5 year to win the division. It doesn't get talked about enough nationally, but it's but it creates waves in the NFL. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully Baker can make it happen this year.
Brad Johnson joining us here. Can't leave without saying, how about them Knowles? How about
baby?
I was there on Saturday, and let me tell you, that was 1990s. Yeah. That was 1990s Doak Campbell. That place was freaking packed. It was rocking. It was, even though they took out 12,000 seats, it was louder than it's ever been. Yeah. And I'm just so happy for the program. I thought Castellanos played great. I don't know how much you got to see of it, but it was awesome.
He's perfect for that offense with Gus Malzahn. Like, he's the perfect kind of guy for that. And he had beaten Florida State twice when he was at Boston College, so they knew what they were getting when they got him. Like, he's, y'all didn't want me coming out of high school, but you got me now.
You got me now. Thank you.
But the team looked they're very athletic. They're bigger and faster than Alabama, and it's a long season, obviously. But the place was electric the other day, and then obviously storming the field, and
that was
especially
cool.
with whatever happened last year. Like you just got to kind of, as a black cloud, and just let it go, man. But it's something special is happening there in Tallahassee, and it's going to be fun to watch them this year.
You feel that? You have some inside scoop?
No, I just got a chance. I mean, they just looked the part. It's a look, So you got to go win them. Injuries are a big part of it too, but it's they looked the part, and you got to give a lot of credit to Mike Norvell for just staying the course. He had make some coaching changes, which is hard, and then you go back in the portal, and I mean there's a lot going on there, and you got to get your booster support to do all that, and building the stadium. So it was a mess last year from all those avenues, but it's they got it right.
All right, somebody, our good friend Nathan Elliott, who knows you, said Brad Johnson, future Ring of Honor member. Yeah, that's got to happen. You and Brady should go in together. That's my call. The two Super Bowl quarterbacks go in together in the Ring of Honor.
It's pretty cool. It's very humbling for me to when you say you won a Super Bowl. Like that team was unbelievable with all the Hall of Famers, and there's so many other great players on that team that just don't get talked about. And it's really, and so many great coaches. Like, good gosh, I mean, go through the list of that. But as far as for me winning a Super Bowl, like that was a big reason why I came to Tampa in free agency. I was thinking about going to Baltimore, and that kind of took a detour in the middle of the night. And I felt like it was a perfect place for me when I came to Tampa. And I want to be the first quarterback to have won it for Tampa. And the last time a Super Bowl had been won in state of Florida was Bob Greasy in 1972.
Holy crap, that's right.
But 35 quarterbacks have won it, and 31 are still living. So it's pretty unique that even three of us were there the other night with Doug and Tom and myself. It's pretty cool.
That's right. There's only 31 alive that have won Super Bowls.
Yeah, Ken Stabler, Bart Starr, Lynn Dawson, and Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, wow.
That's why.
It's a pretty elite club, brother. Yeah, I think you should be in the Ring of Honor. And that team, you mentioned that, and you guys were talking about it the other night. There were so many good players that name some of the middle class guys that we talk about. We know the Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but then think about. Obviously Shelton Quarles, that Mike linebacker, he took over that year. He was a great leader. But then I think of Greg Spires, a defensive end. I think of Al Singleton. I think offensively, like Robin Oben and Kerry Jenkins coming on board. Jeff Christie doesn't get enough credit. He's my center, and Cozy Coleman, Kenyatta Walker. But then even like names that you don't think about, like
Keenan McCardell.
Oh no, Keenan was golly. Obviously Keyshawn was perfect for that system, but Joe Jurevicius and Keenan McCardell, like we had a big recruiting night when Keenan came in, because he took us over the top. Yeah. He's got basically 900 catches, and he was very, very smart, great player, and big part of that. But then everyone knows about Michael Pittman and All-Star, but then like Aaron Stecker and Ricky Dudley and Ken Dilger, like golly, the list goes on offense and defense. And then even Martin Gramatica had he had two games. Carolina, we scored 12 points. I was out. That one in Chicago, he scored 15 points. But I think one of the most underrated kicks he had that year was against Philadelphia. Had a 51-yard field goal at the vet to put us on the board. Like, you just don't think about it. But just a lot of great players and great coaches. It takes all to make it happen.
That back shoulder to Keenan in the Super Bowl, baby. Yeah. What was it? Call that play. Call it.
Yeah. It was a play was called South Right, nickel 41, kill 374 Wasp, and went on a double count, and they had 7 guys in the box, and it was the great Keenan McCardell against the great Charles Woodson, and back shouldered him, and there you go.
You sound like Gruden calling out a play right there.
Oh, you guys, that video, I retweeted that, and you two talking about that play. He's trying to take credit for the call. Come on. Did you kill on that play?
Yeah, I killed it. Yeah, because we called nickel 41 first. That was the draw. And then, but the pass play was in. It was a back shoulder fade to the right. And then we had Keyshawn and Joe Jurevicius kind of run like a corner flat on the other side. And so it was.
Why'd you kill? Well,
they had too many guys in the box. We couldn't run the draw play up the middle.
All right.
And it was one-on-one out there with Charles Woodson, who was, phenomenal Hall of Famer himself. But it was Keenan was great at that route, So it was
great throw. Unstoppable throw.
Yeah.
God, good times. I can't wait to see the whole documentary. You're so good in it the other night with John. It's going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait. And thank you for your time as always. Congrats on Max making it back and Jake and everything. Yeah. Love you, brother. Thanks for taking the time as always.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man. See
All right, you can go cry now.
All right, man.
Go cry now. See you later.
It happens.
Great, Brad Johnson. Oh God, I can't even imagine. I'm crying just thinking about it. I mean, literally 11 months for his son to come back. That's your son, man. And not had to move to Chapel Hill, make his food, put his shoes on, the whole freaking nine, man.
Yeah. And for that to happen on the road, in Minnesota and have to undergo all that stuff in a strange place, far from home, before you were allowed to go back home to finish your healing.
I was texting him. He's that bad. He's like, they're talking about amputating his leg.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't even imagine.
Your son sitting there in the pain and oh man, my son broke both his wrists one time playing football in the same play. Nice. And they had to take him to the emergency room. And, my heart was just breaking for him because he was, he toughed it out though.
Yeah.
Tough son of a bitch. Anyway, what a great interview. That's so fun. I could talk to him for hours and hours and hours. Great. What a great dude. All right. Well, we'll get him on again. I'll tell him. Oh my God. Was he in the Cowboys documentary at all? I didn't watch it yet. Yeah. But he'd have some stories. Baby. How do you appear? Was it the holder? How do you appear in all 16? He must have been the holder. Yeah. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we get to your comments. Scott Carter's going to join us to talk a little Gator football as they take on USF. That's going to be awesome. And then Tito's got fantasy football, and Arestas going to join us at the end of the show. So lots more to go. Stay with us. We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Make sure you get your business insurance, your flood insurance, and make sure your home is insured to its full value. All those things they can take care of at ItalianoInsurance.com, 813-877-7799. Back in 3. The Golden Diamond Source is working every day to be your family jeweler. Right now, a $5,000 engagement ring with 0% interest can be yours for just $83. So don't let the holidays sneak up on you this year. Now is the time to get ahead with their in-store layaway. Trade in your old jewelry for cash. Gold has never been higher. The Golden Diamond Source is offering the highest ever trade-in values for your gold and diamond jewelry. Now is the time to get your holiday shopping started. So come in now, relax, shop, and save at the Golden Diamond Source. We love Julie and Steve Weintraub, great local philanthropists, and you can find them at 3800 Olmerton Road in Clearwater, where you'll always find the perfect gift, only at the Golden Diamond Source. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete. and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show. It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American standard AC units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. That's why Third Generation Plumbing trusts American standard air conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home, now with the unmatched reliability of American standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. And we also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Kingmakers. We are coming to you live from the Kingmakers Tampa studio, this beautiful facility here in Midtown Tampa. It is a work and play facility. We have some private offices here, kind of a Oxford Exchange with a sports flair. You can also have a use of the very stylish conference room that we have here, all things to do business. And then you can also play around here as well. We have a golf simulator that is incredible, big leather loungers out there. Bring the guys by and play a bunch of golf, different courses. You can do that here. You can use this studio. This will be part of the package, this production studio right here where the JP Peterson Show takes place. So kingmakerstampa.com is where you go to become a member of this great space. Check it out, kingmakerstampa.com. All right, we got breaking news. Timmy. Vita Vea has arrived at practice, according to the folks at Pewter Report. Christian Izzian was not practicing, but Vita Vea is at practice. So that is good news. Got him off his feet. He's ready to go. Let's go. So we'll see how effective he is. Yeah, we'll see how effective he is. I mean, we don't know the extent of the injury, so we shall see. All right, let's get to some comments from you folks here on the you can always comment on YouTube, on X, and Facebook. It'll show up in our comments right here. So really appreciate all you guys. And also you can do super chats if you like to support independent media, which we are. We are not corporate media. We are independent. We are FanStream Sports, Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Ohio. So please support your favorite show. Sergio Biltres says Jalen Carter did the most disrespectful thing you could do to someone. What trash? Should be suspended for the rest of the season. I don't know about that, but I wouldn't hate it. That's not going to happen. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and yeah, Dak didn't spit on him. He spit on the ground. Everybody spits on the ground. It's a totally different deal. He does it right. Like, what did Jalen Carter think was going to happen? The officials right there. And they've also come into all the places, all the teams, and sat down with every team and said, hey, we're really going to be looking for unsportsmanlike conduct out there. We want you guys to clean up your act. Yeah. So on the season opener, I think I'll just walk up to Dak Prescott and spit on him in a timeout to make sure everybody sees it. Like I like what goes through your head, man. Mr. King says, Mike Evans has been ejected how many times? Mike has been ejected once or twice, all in the same situation with that jackass from New Orleans. So, and he hadn't done it in a while, and he understands. Yeah. Nathan Elliott says at Mr. King, all of Mike Evans' ejections involve Marshawn Lattimore. Evans will get a pass with me every time. True. More right Rudder says ACC is deeper than the SEC. What say you, Mr. SEC versus ACC over here? We got SMU. I know he is. So you got SMU at 16. At least they were last year. Yeah, a good football team. You got FSU just beat up on the supposed favorite in the SEC, Alabama. And we're supposed to be an afterthought in the ACC. Clemson should have beat LSU, by the way, but did not. So Miami, Clemson, FSU. After that, I don't know what we got. SMU, I mean. What's that? That's incredibly wrong. Douglas Batista, good morning to you. So the Rays are teasing us. I still think they're a 500 team tonight, opening up with Jax as a starter and then follow with Seymour. Yeah, I mean, Seymour's been good. Jax is not, and they're using him now as an opener. Interesting. Maybe that's better. But as Douglas says, Fairbanks is scary. I don't believe in him at this point. I love him. He's awesome. But right now, he's shaky in the back end. You don't want to be shaky in your back end, especially when playing meaningful games in September. Cody says, once again, the Rays are $50 million short of actually making a playoff push. Thanks, Stu and WDAE. They are complicit, you know. They've been covering for this guy forever. But you talk bad about Stu on 620, you know what happens to you. You get your own show and your own company. And you're your own boss. It's just fun. Douglas Batista again says Topkins tweet about another non-sellout. Check the seats on Ray's website for tonight. Cheapest is 59 SRO right field deck. Everything else over 60. Pricing out most people unless you know about SeatGeek and TickPick. This is true. So you go on his website and their prices are exorbitant. And you go to TickPick and no fees, and you can get tickets for $20, $30. Or SeatGeek. Yeah. Doesn't everybody know that? Yeah. 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 Great story in the Times today. I actually said this. Great story by John Romano. Well, when he's not covering for Stu, he's, he does fine. And a great story on Ken Babby, who is one of the new owners who owns the Jumbo Shrimp and the Akron Rubber Ducks, I think they are, minor league teams, and has done a tremendous job with them. And he's going to kind of be the point person, I believe, for the stadium on the ownership side, which is great because he knows how to build stadiums. And more than that, he knows how to get people in the park. And the Rays haven't even marketed their team. Stu never wanted to market his team. He didn't want to spend money on marketing. He wanted to act like he did and take the write-offs and tell everybody he did, but he didn't, in my opinion. No, we never marketed the team like everybody else does in Major League Baseball because he just wanted to take the revenue-sharing money and be able to bitch about nobody showing up at the games and make, top dollars on certain things, fewer people, less staff, charge more. That was his. He never wanted to. They closed the upper deck. You could have sold tickets in the upper deck for $5. He didn't want any part of that. He wanted no part of it. So this guy Ken Babby is going to get people in the park, and he knows how to do it, and he knows how to market, and he knows. And they're going to build a stadium that is very fan friendly. So very much looking forward to that. So Chet, yeah, great article by John Romano in the Times. There, I said it. Go check it out. They went and talked to people in Akron and Jacksonville. Now, I don't think Babby was quoted because they're not talking, but he went and talked to all the other people about him, and people had glowing things to say. So very good read. Check it out. Michael LaRue says, so Derek Carr was the MFer Brady was referring to when he said, you're sticking with this MFer? Mark Davis said, John Gruden turned down Brady. So Gruden is responsible for both Bucs Super Bowls. That's true. All that is according to Gronk and many others. That's true. Gruden denies it. But, do you want to be the guy that said no to Tom Brady? No, you don't want to be that guy, but whatever. Oh, ouch, babe. Ouch. Holy jujitsu. That was nasty. Holy jujitsu, Batman. That was nasty. Remember that whole thing? Oh, no, he's just a jujitsu instructor. Yeah. Nathan Elliott said, Gedeke, he was that way on the casino on the Buccaneer cruise. Small bets. The frugality of Luke Gedeke is going to become a running joke. It's legendary already. It's fantastic. All right, let's switch gears here and talk some Gator football with our man Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. This is the G's Law Group Gator Report. What's up, Scotty? How are you?
Hey, JP, how you fellas doing, man? Second week of football up here, so it's all good up in Gainesville.
Yeah, and the actual real season opener for the Gators after last week's preseason game. Did we learn anything from the beatdown of Long Island Billy Joel University? What did we learn?
I didn't learn a lot. I mean, it was nice to obviously see DJ Lagway on the field.
Yes.
We haven't seen much of that really since the end of last season. So him getting out there, playing the first half, threw 3 touchdowns, and they got him out at halftime. We saw the young quarterback behind him, Tramel Jones, who got a lot of kind of hype in camp for the way he was playing. I thought he showed well in his first Gator experience. But otherwise, JP, I've always looked at those kind of games. There's 3 goals, right? Obviously, you want to win handily. They did that. Second is you want to get out of there healthy, which for the most part they did that. And third, you want to just get a lot of guys some playing time that might not otherwise play. So I think Gators checked all those 3 boxes. Nice. And now it's kind of like you said, there's a feeling that, okay, USF's a step up in class. The real season starts Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll talk about USF here in a second. Trey Wilson had a real tough year last year. Had a hip injury or a genetic hip thing that he had to have fixed, and had a knee injury as well. But he's all back, and he looked great. He made a great touchdown catch. He's an X factor, is he not? The Gator product. He is a guy that can really change games, and now he's back healthy. How big is that for the Gators?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, we saw what he could do a couple of years ago, and it really got people excited. And then, obviously, as you mentioned, the hip injury, it's kind of something that he'd been living with his whole life, didn't really know the severity of it, got checked out. And they said, hey, you probably need to have surgery for your long-time career. So you had to shut it down last season. But he was back. We talked to him after practice one night this week, and you could tell he was just, man, he's glad to be back out there. And when you mix him with some of the other guys, like J. Michael Sturdivant, the transfer from UCLA, obviously the true freshman Vernell Brown, the third, had a really nice first Gators performance. But Trey Wilson's a big part of what they want to do. And if he can play like he did as a freshman, that's only going to help DJ Lagway in this offense, because the offense has, I think, all the pieces it needs to be really an elite offense.
You mentioned Vernell Brown there, huge recruit. Is he a guy that can step up, being as young as he is, and be a factor?
Yeah, we're going to see him regularly. He's got kind of a skill set, JP, that's similar to Trey Wilson, but I think maybe a little bit more of a vertical downfield threat. Trey's more of your underneath, and then let him put his athleticism in space and make people miss. We saw Vernell Brown make the catch. It was, I think, Sports Center #1 the other night, that one-handed falling back catch. And they got another guy from Tampa who we haven't seen. I think he might be the best of the 3 we're talking about here, Dallas Wilson.
I was going to ask you about him too.
He's been injured in camp. He got hurt early in camp with the leg injury. I don't think we're going to see him Saturday, but I think he is getting closer to where we'll see him by the time the SEC season rolls around. But this guy, we all talk about the eye test, right? And, a lot of times you read this hype and you see him and you're like, okay, he's going to need some time to develop. He's a freshman. Dallas Wilson, you look at him and say, oh, wow, this guy, he looks like he can play the NFL tomorrow. Yeah. So I think that's the kind of talent he is.
Wow, that's a lot of big time receivers for DJ Lagway, and he's such a big dude, but so oft injured. Where are we at with DJ? Is he healthy? Is he ready to go?
I think he's finally getting there. When you miss as much time as he did in the offseason, JP, I mean, you're just not going to be in top game shape. And
right,
I looked at him in the game Saturday. There was a play early, and he was able to avoid the rush, and it passed. In my mind, okay, his calf looks like he's overcome that. But now you can tell he's probably added, 5, 7, 8 pounds that he can shed now. So once he gets able to run, gets back into the flow, drop a little weight, I think you'll see the quickness return. But I think right now the key is just take it slow with him, get him into game shape. But, he's also got to produce. I mean, the USF's going to come up here. I think they're a well-coached team. So, he threw for 3 touchdowns, 120 yards. I think he was 15 of 18. So he did what he needed to do in the first game back. And I think they're just hoping each week really a little bit more because it doesn't get easy, man. I mean, after USF, you go to Miami, you got LSU, then you go to Miami. I mean, this is a brutal schedule, man.
It is brutal. We'll look at that in a second. So this USF team, I saw him play on Thursday night. It's not the same old South Florida. That's what Golis said after the game, and he couldn't be more right, especially on the defensive side. They got a couple of linebackers that could play for anybody, and Jalen Schuler, the defensive player of the week in college football, was phenomenal. The physicality in which they play with is totally different than last year. Now, I remember USF went into Gainesville a couple of years ago, and that was a nail biter. Yeah. They're coming to win, and Byron Brown is a freaking hoss. He looks like Dante Culpepper out there. He's so hard to bring out. Cam Newton, he's big and he's fast and he runs hard. What this Gator defense obviously is a little suspect last year. What tweaks have they made? Are they going to be better? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously had a really nice first game, but again, anytime you shut out an opponent and hold them to 2 first downs and 86 yards, you got to give the defense some credit. We know it was LIU, not LSU, so I get all that. But overall, they performed pretty well. And I've said this to everybody, JP. I mean, I do think this is Billy Napier's most talented roster in his 4th season. I don't even think it's close, in my opinion. I think a lot of that's young players, and some of those guys are young players on defense, like the linebacker Miles Graham, linebacker Aaron Childs. Up front, you've got Brendan Betts, a newcomer, but you also got a mix of older guys like Tyreek Sapp and George Combs Jr. I just think overall it's a better defense. And you asked specifically about what's going to make these guys better. I think we started seeing it at the end of last year when you look at those first 9 games compared to the last 4, and now you can say 5 counting LIU. The defense just improved significantly when Ron Roberts took over and went up to the booth and started calling the game from up there. And I think that's just made a lot of difference because he just simplified it for the players. And sometimes that seems kind of like a simplified explanation. Yeah. But I think it does mean a lot when guys just understand things a little better because guess what? Then they're more instinctive. They play faster.
They play way faster. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's happened. I think the talent's there. They're just playing faster. And so I do know they're very, Byron Brown certainly has their attention. He's, like you said, he's a dynamic quarterback, can make plays with his feet. I think this is going to be a great test for Florida early in the season. And again, I didn't watch the whole USF game, but I've seen enough of them under Alex Golesh. This guy, to me, he'll be an SEC or Big Ten coach eventually. I think he's an up-and-comer. Billy Napier called him an up-and-comer this week. He really respects him, says on tape, a lot of the Tennessee DNA he sees from USF. Yeah. So I just think they certainly have the Gators' respect.
Yeah, 17.5-point spread is ridiculous. I mean, that is the gift of the week, by the way. Yeah.
I was thinking 8-9 points.
Yeah. No, when I play, we always play guess the spread. I'm like, 9.5, 10. I'll go there. Yeah, but 17.5? No, I bet it while you can. But this is going to be an interesting atmosphere, right? In Florida, I mean, with that schedule ahead, you got to win this. If you're the Florida Gators, if you don't win this game, I mean, I don't want to start the Napier talk because I don't think that's fair. But the fans will. The fans will, and they'll be all over that. And then that season with a really talented team that can win a lot of games could take a really weird turn. So I think this is a massive, massive game for the Gators. Am I wrong?
No, I agree. I mean, I've always looked at this season as a whole. I've always looked at Miami as being the most important game on the schedule, just because that's right before you go into that just huge stretch. We know the rivalry with Miami hasn't always treated the Gators well. This game, has a whole different aura to it because, it's almost like the big brother against little brother, and the Gators have won all those games. The only one they've ever lost to UCF or USF or FAU or FIU is that bowl game down in Tampa to UCF back in 21 when they had an interim coach at the end of Muller. Yeah. But you're right, man. If you lose to USF at home, it's going to be a really, really loud week next week. Yeah. It's the last thing the Gators want right now. It's the last thing they need. I think they'll take care of business. I think they have the talent. But, again, USF is going to come up here. They're going to play with the chip on their shoulder, and they know that if they win this game, suddenly they're ranked and people are talking about their program in a way they haven't talked about USF in a decade or more. So, yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. There's no doubt about it.
Offensive line wise for the Gators, where are they at this year?
I think it's the best line they've had in a while. They've got a lot of experience up there. They had 88 combined career starts going into last week. You got the two guys, center Jake Slaughter and right tackle Austin Barber. They're both preseason All-SEC. Slaughter was the first team All-American last year. They got some attention this past week because LIU did have, I think, 11 tackles for loss. A lot of that was against second teamers. It didn't really matter in the final outcome. But Bryce Lovett's the new guy up there at right tackle. I think they're looking for him just to continue to get better. But overall, JP, I look at the offensive line as being very solid and one of the best in the SEC. And if they stay healthy and play the way they have, it should be a strength to this team.
Yeah, after week one, I mean, it's you never want to make large judgments, but FSU beating Alabama was certainly an eye-opener for ACC versus SEC. Yeah. So where is the SEC this year, you think? I mean, Alabama was expected to be to win the conference by many. I don't know what the media picked, but they were a darling. Yep. Not so much anymore. Where do you see the power in this conference? And LSU, that's a big win they got at Clemson. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. I mean, after week one, I think you got to go with LSU as the power team right now. And, a lot of the preseason projections have LSU as one of the 4 final college football playoff teams. So they expect big things in Baton Rouge this year. I still think as much as, their negativity around Texas and Arch Manning after last week, I still think they're going to be a really good team. And I think, whatever he didn't do in that opener against Ohio State, I think they'll correct some things because I've seen enough of him. I still expect him to be a really good quarterback. I'm not ready to hand the Heisman Trophy to him, but I don't bet on the Mannings at quarterback. Let's just put it that way. And then I think Alabama, they're just, it's almost like Ray Perkins too, right, JP? Back when Bear left, Ray Perkins came in. It's almost always a no-win situation for the next guy. And Kalen DeBoer, he's obviously done a lot of good things in his career, but you can't replace Nick Saban. And you might as well just go ahead and let somebody. I would never take one of those jobs personally because you can't win. Yeah. And then you lose to Florida State convincingly, and now you hear the noise up there. I still think Alabama they'll rebound and have a good season, but are they a national title contender? I don't think so. And I think we've still got a lot to learn about these Gators. If they get by USF and they go down to Miami and win that huge game at LSU, I mean, what a huge opportunity early in the season. But then guess what? Even if you win that, you got to come home and you got to play Arch Manning in Texas. So, they get the back-to-back dose there. So we'll learn all we need to know about Florida, I think, in the first 5 or 6 games of the season.
All right. Yeah. So let's just go through the schedule real quick. LIU and then South Florida, which was supposed to be a gimme.
Yeah.
Suddenly that looks like a tough game. Jeez. Then you're at
LSU.
At LSU. Night game at LSU. Then you're at Miami, probably a night game there as well. Jiminy Christmas. Then you get a week off, thank God.
Yeah.
And then you got Texas coming to town. Then you got to go to A&M.
Yep.
Then Mississippi State at home, thank God. Georgia. Then you got the Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville. Then you got to go to Kentucky, which hasn't been easy lately. That's been a pain in the ass. And then you get to go to the Grove and Ole Miss, which, ain't going to be another top 20, maybe top 10 team then. And then Tennessee in November, which is weird, comes to town. And then a game you thought was going to be another gimme in Florida State is suddenly not a gimme. I mean, that is a ridiculous schedule. I mean, I don't even know how Napier survives this.
We'll see. I think he's been very confident, more so than we've ever seen him at Florida during preseason. You can tell he really likes his team. And I think the new landscape, he understands that, you can lose 2, maybe 3 games with the 12-team playoff and still get in there. So I think that's I think fans are going to have to start looking at it a little differently. I think coaches are starting to look at it a little differently. And that's, we say, boy, that's an unbelievable tough schedule. It is. But guess what? As this game evolves and as things emerge, every season is going to look like that. I'm all for it, man. Because I could have done without the LIU game last weekend personally. I would have been happy.
Billy Napier.
Yeah, I would. No, you need those games. I know coaches need those games, but I would have loved to see Notre Dame or somebody in the opener. I would have been very happy. And if they lose, you know what? You still got 11 more games. So I just it's going to be a tough challenge for these Gators, and I think they've got the roster that can win a lot of these games. They got to stay healthy. And obviously we know DJ Lagway has to be the player that everyone thinks he can be. I think you can make the argument around the country. He might be the most single important player to his team as any team in the country. And we'll see how it looks come December.
All right. Anything from you, Tim?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Gators' edge rushers with Sapp and George Gums Jr., they've got Cameron James. It is a strong group on the outside for Florida. But I think what they're looking at, okay, we get pressure on Byron Brown, but guess what? We know what he can do with his feet. And I think if you see them get pressure consistently early, then if I'm at USF, I'm putting the ball in his hands in a different way from the snap so he can do more reads and run if he needs to. So I think that could be a little cat and mouse game we see during the course of the early portion of the game. And that's what these matchups make them interesting. But I do like Florida's edge rush. If you said, Byron Brown's got to drop back 40 or 50 times in this game, yeah, he's going to get sacked some. But we know that if he's getting consistent pressure, he's flexible and versatile enough where they can change the game plan some and just have him control everything from the snap. So we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of just the way I look at it.
All right, we had a weird 4:15 start time Saturday, so get there early, Gator fans. If you're going up, get all the festivities in, be in your seat because this is going to be a good one. I cannot wait for it. To me, it's the best game of the weekend. So cannot wait. It'll be fun.
All right,
Scotty.
We'll see you up here, guys. You all have a good week.
All right, the great Scott Carter. You can follow them at Scott Carter on the X Machine and FloridaGators.com. All his great work there, along with his buddy Chris Harry. Good folks over there, FloridaGators.com. Love them. All right, quick break. When we come back, more of your comments. Tito's going to join us for fantasy football. So if you have any questions, I got questions for Tito. I got questions. I actually asked Emeka Buka on Wednesday whether I should start him or not. So I don't need to ask Tito there. His answer was absolutely. All right, quick break. We'll be back in 3. Stay with us. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine & DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine & DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine & DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We've got to tell you about one of our new advertisers. Really cool one. Delete Me is the name of them. It makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. You know, data brokers make a profit off your data. Lots of money they make. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details, which is scary. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment, but now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. I don't know about you guys, but I get these phishing attempts all the time, like maybe 10 or 15 times a day on my phone. So Delete Me is important, folks. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting HIT to 64,000. The only way to get 20% off is to text HIT to 64,000. That's HIT to 64,000. Message and data rates apply. Very important, folks. So do that.
Can everyone hear me now? We're apparently having technical difficulties, but we can't
hear you.
You're hearing on our end because we're hearing everything fine. And apparently, because I'm watching the stream, my picture was gone for a long time and I couldn't figure out why. But it looks like it's back now.
All right, you're back.
Can everyone hear me? That's what we need to know is you, the people, the Petermans.
Yes. So, yeah, everybody's think you're muted.
I know. It's probably better that way.
Well,
hey,
I can hear you, Tim. Nathan Elliott, thank you for chiming in. All right.
And it sucks because that was like 2 minutes of the best freaking radio I have ever done in my life, and y'all just missed it.
What part was that?
The part where I was quiet.
You're back. All right. Well, let's talk some fantasy football, shall we?
Let's do it. To it,
the great Tito, JP Thitoff joins us here, FanStream Sports, Ohio. What's up, brother?
Hey guys, how you doing today?
I am well. You want to score my my fantasy football draft?
Let's hear it.
B+ from CBS.
That's what they told me. Those are stupid.
Those are stupid.
How do you really feel?
No, but look, a lot of times what they'll do is they will rank those. It'll get graded based on how it would have auto drafted for you. For instance, as an example, I did a draft, and by the way, I'm an expert. I did a draft.
How do you really feel?
For somebody last week, and I looked at it on Yahoo after I did the draft, and they had those projections of what your record's going to be. Yeah. They had me at 0-13. There's no way in hell I'll ever draft a team that goes 0-13.
You suck. Whoever paid you to do that draft was not happy.
Can't wait for this.
Probably not. I always say it to people before I do the draft. I'll send them a text and I'll say, "Look, just so you know, it might say I'm 13-0, might say I'm 0-13. Don't pay attention to it because it's never right."
That's right. But I did get a B+, so I'm going to say it's very accurate.
That's fine. It's probably right. Then that was probably a real one.
Smoltzy, John Smoltz, who's in our league, and I play him week 1. Everybody's looking forward to this. So he says, my team sucks. I was like, you always say your team sucks, and then you kick my ass.
Right.
But anyway, I got Burrow.
Okay.
I got Burrow and Jamar Chase together. So all that right. Should be
I like that stack. If you can get that stack, that's good.
That's a good stack, right? Yep. That's a good stack. David Montgomery and Kenneth Walker are my starting running backs.
Okay.
I'm going to start Ibuka. Week 1, I'm starting a rookie. Kittle's my tight end.
Okay.
McPherson is my kicker. And I drafted my defense late. I'm going to stream my defense all year long. So
that's all you should do. Don't worry about defenses. You know,
I got the Dolphins defense. So they're playing Indianapolis this week. So that's
a good one.
It's a good start, right?
Yeah. You start anti-Daniel Jones is what you do. That's a great way to go about it.
Right? Yeah. That's why I drafted him. So Aaron Rodgers is my backup.
Okay.
I like Trey Benson, because he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
And it's the starter in Arizona. So if he goes down and he's been injured, Trey Benson, I think he could have a sneaky good year. I also drafted Sean Tucker. If Bucky goes down, I think he's going to be the main ball carrier. I also got Rachaad White. I got Godwin to back up Ibuka when Godwin comes back. Matthew Golden with Green Bay, the rookie. I don't know. He might have a great season. Who knows?
I like him quite a bit.
Ricky Pearsall, I think, is going to get a ton of targets from Purdy, especially with Ayuk out. Evan, and I was toyed with starting Pearsall over Ibuka this week. I toyed with it.
Yeah, I think I stick with Ibuka on that one. Yeah.
All right. Evan Ingram's my backup tight end, and then my backup kicker's Jake Bates. So whatever. Do you have roster transaction limits in that league? You have to have 2 kickers and 2 defenses.
You have to. Okay, I was saying otherwise I wouldn't draft 2 defenses or 2 kickers. Obviously, the Trey Benson thing's interesting. I've got I think I did. I want to say about 75 drafts this season, and I got a lot of shares of Trey Benson late. I agree with you on that. I think that he is going to end up in the second half of the season, if not sooner. He'll be the main guy there, I believe. Connor's.
I agree.
I'm betting against Connor this year. I'm betting against Saquon. I'm betting against Derrick Henry. Just as far as long term goes. I mean, Saquon was great.
I wasn't going to draft any of those guys or McCaffrey either. I wasn't going to draft any of them.
Out of all the drafts I did, I think in 2 of them I got McCaffrey. One of them I took Henry, but again, 75 drafts. I only took Henry one time because the value was really good there.
Right.
I may have gotten Saquon in one of them also, but other than that, though, I mean, I liked Chase Brown. I liked Bucky Irving better than some of the, like, as far as a better chance of having a big season than those guys and more reliable. And
I wouldn't start Bucky until after Wirfs comes back. I may be wrong on that.
Yeah. You're probably right about that. Yeah, that's probably fair.
You got like in my league, I have to sit my starters 3 times.
Okay.
Which is weird. It's a weird thing. Yeah. You can only play them 10 times.
That's funny.
It's kind of it's much more challenging. You got to build depth in your team, and I think I got really good depth on this team.
I found myself, and I didn't do it on purpose, but if the stack came to me organically. That means naturally, Tim, by the way. It's a big word for you, organically. But if it comes to you organically, though, then
I think you're mispronouncing it's orgasmically.
I knew you were going to see. I set that up for you so perfectly. We should go on the road together.
This is English.
Yes, right. Anyway, but like I didn't do it on purpose, but I found myself with a lot of stacks. Like if I waited on quarterbacks, which I usually did, a lot of Dak Prescott, George Pickens stacks. I did it like you did with Jamar Chase and
Burrow.
I did a little with Higgins and Burrow too. If I missed out on Chase, because you had to be the number 1 pick typically or number 2 pick to get Jamar Chase, and so
we could keep one player, and I had Saquon and Jamar. Last year, and I stuck with Jamar.
That's a smart play, I think. Yeah, but I don't do the stacks on purpose. But if it's 2 quarterbacks that are close to each other, in my rankings, like really like right next to each other, and I've got the receiver on one of the guys, I usually go that way, and vice versa. If I got the quarterback and the receivers are close, I'll go with the guy just because I think that it makes a lot of sense. I did a draft, JP. I don't know if you'll appreciate this or not, but I did a draft for a guy and I looked at their scoring structure. He said, "Make sure you look at scoring structure for you because it's really weird." And I looked at it, and they had such skewed point totals, like as far as passing touchdown was like 16 is what it was worth. All these different things for all the so many different positions, like so many different points based on completions, carries, carries of more than 7 yards, all these different things. But their projected points for the season for Jaden Daniels was 11,532.
Jesus,
I know, it was insane. It's just
it's 16 points for a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
That's crazy. It was.
That throws all your regular computations out of whack. Yes, so I don't even know how you do that, but whatever.
Yeah.
So what if it's week 1?
Mm-hmm.
What's basic advice for people in getting their starts and don't take chances? I would say go with the proven people. Yep. What do you say? What do you think?
Yeah, you don't. There's no need to try to get cute with week 1. Just go there. The guys you drafted first are the guys you're going to start in all likelihood. Obviously, pay close attention to the injury news and what's going on there. And I mean, I tell people, on Thursday, set your lineup for the entire weekend. Check it on Friday, check it on Saturday, and do it that way. But make sure you've got the latest injury news and those the inactives come out a couple hours before game time on Sunday when you'll see that. Don't forget the Friday game tonight also this week with that Chiefs and Chargers game going on in Brazil. But yeah, it's nothing to get too cute about yet. The first couple weeks, you're going to be just feeling things out and seeing where things go. We're not sure like the you mentioned the Arizona running back split. We're not sure exactly how it's going to play out. Connor has hinted that he won't get the majority of the carries. He thinks that this year Benson will end up having more touches than he will. Wow. Keep an eye on things like that, though, because there's a few running back situations like you mentioned the Kenneth Walker thing. See how those carries get split up there in Seattle early on in the season. I'm very high on Travion Henderson for the Patriots, but see if Stevenson, if I know. See how what Stevenson gets. Those are the ones you want to look at. The Browns running back situation. I think Jerome Ford will get the bulk of the carries. I think that's who they're going to lean on. Wow. But we'll see though if Dylan Sampson gets much play. I know Judkins signed his deal now, but it's too far along for him to get really any action on Sunday. But keep a really close eye on how those things get used and how the new coaches call the games, because you got new coaches in Jacksonville. You got new coaches in Chicago. New coach in Chicago. See how those guys are going to call their games, because the stats, the projected stats for a lot of these guys, they don't necessarily know how these coaches are going to adjust the offenses. See how much Travis Hunter play is going to get. See how much offense he's going to play. How many times he'll get targeted in Jacksonville.
All right, Tito, good stuff. By the way, here's Smoltzy's team I'm going against this week. He's got Mahomes, Jahmyr Gibbs, Aaron Jones.
Okay.
He still has Amari Cooper in the lineup.
Good. Don't tell him. Smoltz doesn't listen. Good.
He's busy with baseball this week. I'm not going to tell him.
Good.
Michael Pittman. By the way, Amari Cooper retired, for those of you who don't know.
Yes, he retired.
But he drafted him before he retired. Sucks for you, Smoltzy. Pittman. He's got Kelsey. I think
that was a bad pick
year.
Anyway, and you kind of get what you deserve there.
He has Gay as his kicker. He's got a Gay kicker. And he has Bengals defense. There we go. And I have a 65% chance, according to CBS, of winning, which means absolutely nothing. So,
by the way, that's the other thing too. I would go out right now and pick up Jordan Mason if he's still available in your league. Jordan Mason will end up being, I think he'll be the guy in Minnesota here before long. Aaron Jones is old, and that's saying something coming from me. But I think that Jordan Mason will be the better running back this year for them. I've grabbed a lot of shares of Ollie Gordon as well in Miami. I think that he'll definitely, I think he'll be the goal line back, but I also think though, with how Miami's, the running back get ouchy, and I think that he'll end up having a decent, he's a lottery ticket I played on a lot of teams. I would take Ollie Gordon in the last few rounds. I like him quite a bit. So don't be afraid to take a chance on someone like that. If you want to pick up somebody before your games start on Sunday, whoever your worst player is, I would drop him out and grab a lottery ticket like Ollie Gordon or like Jordan Mason, someone like that, and stash him and see what happens.
All right, Tito, great stuff, man. You want more of this? You can get it at Fantasy Football Island with Tito and Rink and the FanStream Sports Network, and at Thid Happens on the Twitter machine. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
You bet, boys. Talk to you next week.
All right. Good stuff. All right. The stars just keep on rolling in. Let's bring up the great Orestes Estrada. There he is, settling in. How are you, my friend? What's up? What's going on?
I'm tranquil and tropical, baby.
You're tranquil and tropical.
Tranquilo y tropical.
Nice.
That's a great phrase that we use in Miami all the time. And
Tranquilo and tropical.
Tranquilo y tropical.
Y tropical.
Yes, and then that means tranquil and tropical.
JP, what is this huge structure that's blocking our view of the great Orestes?
That one right there. Move that one. Move that one.
No, it's. Yeah, whatever that. What the heck? How are we setting up the studio here? What's going on? What do I got to come to Tampa?
Yeah, you do absolutely.
Yeah.
It's that light pole.
It's something right here in front of the camera.
Yeah,
and you're making Big O move it. Look at that.
Well, it's producing on the air is what we do. That's good. Yeah.
You know why? It's because JP wanted a little more light on him.
I don't know. His lights not even on. None of my. We had 17 lights in here. None of them are on. None of them are on. Because it looks good anyway. You look great.
Dude,
you look fantastic.
I've got the color.
Yeah, you do. You look fantastic. You're marvelous, man. Marvelous.
Fantasy football is just nuts, man.
Do you do fantasy football?
I don't. I've never done fantasy football.
It can be a pain in the ass.
Fantasy football has been Stratomatic baseball back in
back in the day. That was fun.
That was fun.
They had Stratomatic football.
Hey, JP, we have a request from Tito. He wants to say hello.
Oh,
Tito wants to say hello.
Yes, I watched him play for the Clippers over at Cooper Stadium many times.
Baby, ring your bell.
Yes.
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks. This is a real honor. I texted Tim when I saw you pop by. I said, no, get me back in here. I got to say hello to this guy.
He was so much fun.
Hey, so much fun to watch in Columbus, buddy. You were a huge.
You hail from Columbus. You base yourself out of Columbus.
Yes, sir. I've been in Columbus my whole life. I've been to probably 200 Clippers games. I used to go all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, it used to be Cooper Stadium. I don't know what it is now, but
now they moved to downtown Huntington
I know
Park.
they did. I just didn't know they still named it Cooper Stadium, but
nope, it's the Guardians affiliate now. But it was down there at Cooper Stadium. I remember I wrote a lot of stories to the Dispatch, Columbus Dispatch too, when the season they were closing it down, and got to relive a lot of the memories and stuff, and talk to a lot of the people.
How many bombs you hit at that stadium? We can tell you exactly
I
what.
hit a lot of bombs in that stadium. I was a Clipper of the year.
Clipper of the year, baby.
We won that international league. It's interesting. I mean, coming into the Big O show, coming in talking baseball, Tito. The history of players that came through Columbus that you had to see. I mean, obviously Mattingly, Jeter, everybody came through Columbus.
Posada, Bernie Williams, Pettit, and those guys.
Everybody came through.
And even going back,
took a cup of coffee in Columbus, if not longer.
When I was doing the history of the thing, Josh Gibson had a home run there. Babe Ruth had a home run there way back when.
Yeah. Baseball, it's not all OSU, buddy. It's
maybe they need a major league town. Are they trying to get expansion?
We can't, man. They won't give anything with Columbus, with Cleveland and Cincinnati. We're sandwiched right in between.
Two right in the middle.
That's not going to work. Yeah.
But a great baseball town, and thank you, Tito. It means a lot, buddy. Because
you guys are co-workers now.
I had a great.
How do you feel about that, Tito? Now that the Big O show is on the FanStream Sports Network, we're launching this week.
Well, I'm going to have you on a few times, talk a little baseball. Forget about this fantasy football stuff.
I would love to do that, but just so you know, JP, it goes Destrade ... Tito. Okay, let's get that straight. We're co-workers, but we're not co.
Where am I in that pecking order? That's what what the hell's going on here?
It was a real treat, Russell. We'll talk soon, hopefully.
You got it, Tito.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right.
Hey, anybody with a name like Tito,
right?
Es tranquilo y tropical, right there, the two T's.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yes, the Big O show. We've been talking about it. We've been teasing it. We're going to do our first show today. We're going to record it.
Yeah.
And make sure we're not doing anything stupid. But so you and I, but mostly you. And what's the show going to be all about? Tell me.
First of all, I'm going to be, it's like the song, man. You know it well. I'm down with, O and JPP. You know what I'm saying?
You down with OJP?
Yeah, I'm down with, you know me.
You down with OPP too?
I'm down with OPP. So it's funny because that's kind of, 22 years of broadcasting, both on radio and TV. The big thing for me when doing the show or any type of broadcast, it's authenticity, originality, also obviously education and information, the data of whatever the game or sport that you're talking about,
and entertainment,
and then
which you are great at.
3 is enthusiasm and entertainment.
Yeah.
So cut my teeth back in the day right into the fire of ESPN for 5 years doing Baseball Tonight, and then obviously going on to XM Radio, going on into Fox Sports, and the 12 years with the Rays. So I love talking about not only baseball, but all sports, and just, bringing some enthusiasm, bringing some knowledge. Maybe we'll expand a few times every now and then and do a little hitting,
you got a whole, look at that area you got right there. We got cameras. We won't even put lights in your way. We'll actually use them and light you up. But that is a nice area right there. You can do your demos right there.
Yeah. Explain what.
Get a little wireless mic on you.
We're
high tech.
Why somebody's as good as they are. We're lucky to have here at the Murphy Auto Group at what I guess maybe might be called the Kingmaker Studio.
So it's the Kingmaker Studio that you're going to be broadcasting from.
Right
absolutely,
and we'll have some fun.
It's a cool spot, isn't it? I mean,
it's phenomenal. I mean, Murphy Auto Group is phenomenal. Mike Murphy is just what incredible businessman, and they just opened up obviously what I call the GOT. Genesis of Tampa.
That's right. Not Game of Thrones.
No,
it's
not
Genesis of Tampa.
Genesis of Tampa. You got to go by and check it out.
Oh, I like that.
And it's hey, listen, I'm smarter than the average.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I was born at night, but not last night, man. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun, but also, just obviously break down the Rays a lot. Talk about what this incredible seesaw season that they've had. There's 3 or 4 teams that are really kind of doing that type of craziness.
This is bizarre. They're 2 games out now.
2 games out after just 2 weeks ago.
They were done.
Tell me they weren't done.
We cooked them.
Yeah.
We already cooked them.
Yeah. So they're not. And I think in today's show, we're going to break down a couple of guys that are not named Yandy Diaz and Caminero, though we're going to talk about that. It's really going to be two guys that could be the crux of them making.
Are we doing Jake Mangum?
We're not doing Jake Mangum. We're not even doing hitters, bro.
We're doing pitchers?
We're doing Uceda and Clevenger. If you have not paid attention,
which
both those
are our
guys,
best relievers right now. By the way, Pete Fairbanks.
I'm reloading. They are the best pitchers. Yeah. And if you really kind of go into the numbers, what they've done in the second half.
Does Cash start going to Clevenger in those spots instead of Fairbanks at this point?
What happened last night? I mean, it got a little scary there.
He's blown, I think, 2 saves in a row.
I don't do that, but I think you kind of are really cautious. And listen, the Rays are notorious for the last decade of bullpen by committee anyway.
Right.
So it's not like you have to
exactly.
You know.
So if they were to move Fairbanks out of that spot,
in a certain situation.
In certain situations, I don't think it would be a huge ripple effect. It's just like, this is what we do.
No.
We're just looking for matchups right now, and you're giving up too many dingers.
I can see a really tough left-handed hitter in the 9th inning, and you haven't used Clevenger.
You got to go to him.
You got to go to him. So if you've used Uceda already, righty in the 8th, something like that, or just to close out the 8th, and then you're up a run or 2 or 3 in the 9th, but then he walks a guy, and here comes a big bopper.
And that's just my concern. So as we sit here 7 in a row, and everybody's like, oh, we can do this. I'm like, all right, if I'm being objective, the offense has been good lately, but from a whole, inconsistent, very inconsistent.
Extremely.
Starting pitching has been inconsistent, although we got a good one out of Hauser, got a good one out of Boz, and lately it's been Seymour. Now we're going to the opener today with Jackson, then Seymour.
Yeah.
So the starting pitching hasn't been consistent. The offense hasn't been consistent, and the bullpen hasn't been consistent. Correct. So I can't, even though they've won 7 in a row, I don't want to jump and say, oh, we're going to the playoffs.
No, they still talk about jumping. You still got to, you're looking at Cleveland right now, but you still got to jump over Texas. Got to jump over
Kansas City.
You got to, in order to reach Seattle. The interesting thing, and we'll talk about it in the show, is the upcoming schedule for everybody that's in the fight, the last 22 games. Everybody has like a 10 or 12 game span that are very difficult, including the Rays. The one positive thing about their schedule, I'm going to tell you, not being talked about a lot, they're going to Chicago. As a former player.
I'll be there, by the way.
Yeah, but here's the catch. You're only going on the road once. And that's something that people don't realize. You're not changing hotels because you're playing the White Sox and the Cubs.
Oh,
so you can
for a week you're just going to be
for 6 days. You don't.
Keep your head down. Don't get shot.
Nelly, only a sophomore. 3 summer jobs and a 2.5 grade point.
I'm just being real, Unless we need to send the troops in. I don't know.
You fumbled and you fell on that football.
Just stay safe, boys.
Stay safe.
Stay off the trains.
North side is a little.
North side will be I'd probably stay up there if I'm just.
You're bad.
Yeah, no,
you're bad.
My son lives there, so I get.
So mine just moved from there from North Chicago
really
to St. Louis. Yeah, they were there for 3 years. Wow. Him and his wife. Now
to get the boys together
they're in St. Louis. But the bottom line is that's a nice little caveat.
Is that their only road trip?
No. Then they've got, I think they go from there. No, they got one more.
Okay.
And I want to say,
we'll talk about that in the O show. So here's the deal, kids. We're going to cut this show right afterwards, and then we're going to do a little editing if we have to. I don't think we'll have to. And then we'll put it out a little bit later on today.
If JP's involved, we're going to have to do some editing.
Gosh, shut up. Well, you're going to have to do the editing.
Yeah. If anything,
I'm aware
about the love of that kicker that that was talking about there a little earlier.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. We'll close out the JP Peterson show here. But have we given predictions, Timmy, on the season for the Buccaneers? And we've said it a bunch of times.
Yeah, we have a bunch of times.
I'm just going to settle in on my. I think a lot of injuries. I was going to go 11 or 12, but with all the injuries they have, I'm going to go 10-7. Good enough to win the division. I have them getting to the NFC Championship game.
Wow.
And go Bucs.
I also have 10-7.
Oh, okay.
And I've got a loss in the divisional round to the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, you got a Bucs prediction?
You guys are 10-7. No, man, this is
you going 12?
I'm going 12-5.
Wow.
Once they get their 2 horses back.
Well, it's going to take some time though. Werf's may be back 3rd, 4th game. We don't know.
Now 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, it's definitely not the first 2. Not definitely.
And what's Vita? What's his situation?
Vita, thinks he's going to play.
Okay,
but we don't know how.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. We don't know for sure.
That's a key. That's a key.
It's huge.
What does Arestas look like in a Buccaneers uniform? Can he play offensive line?
He definitely could.
I'm up to about 285, so there's no doubt that I'm
right there with
in
you.
my old playing weight of 240.
Thank God we're in the new studio and not the old one, because it might get a little cramped for our big boys.
Sure.
Big boys here.
I can block a little bit.
Yeah,
I can block.
I just hit 240. That's not good. It's not a good thing. I'm not trying to gain weight. All right. Thank you guys for watching today. Look out for the Big O Show coming up a little bit later on. Brought to you by Texas Roadhouse in Wesley Chapel. We were just there.
Yeah, buddy.
Love that place.
Oh, please.
Love that place. And the Murphy Auto Group. And, of course, Kingmakers Tampa. So have a great weekend, everybody. Look out for the O Show, the first ever, later on today when we drop it. And we'll see you then.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.